Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sklarbro Country, the virus edition, aka the Pandy Pods,
AKA two fine boys, lots of noise,
aka the twins better talk faster to warm up TJ Lancaster, no power and cold, oh my stars, at least he can listen to DVK and the Sklars. I tried to make it fast. Stephen Elton Yates, gotta love him. Gotta love him on the AKA.
All right, here we are.
Stephen Elton Yates, who hangs out with us on Stereo. Everybody here should join the Stereo app and follow the two of us, and we do these, like, I want to call them like after parties.
They're like live call-in shows where you guys can just check in with us, leave us a voice memo. We talk directly to you. It's so much fun.
Yeah, we get to answer you in real time.
45 minutes of a hang.
It's just a blast.
Every Monday
we do it on
and
Monday and Wednesday, 3 p.m. We do Dumb People Town. That's West. All these times are West Coast. 3 p.m. we do West Coast on Tuesday, 4 p.m. Dumb People Town, and on Friday, Sports Talk Friday at 3 p.m. All right, let's jump into this story. Yep. Okay, and this story it's insane because it is both at once a Dumb People Town story, and then I'm actually curious about this from just the perspective of this person because we don't know how long he was where he was, because I just don't think you understand how the world works when this happens to you. Now, neither of us have been to prison before. No. I'll just openly say that. We've never
even spent a night in the county lockup.
Have we done things that were illegal in our lives? Yes. Have we gotten caught doing those things? No.
No, we haven't.
So we don't know that feeling of what getting out of prison feels like. I can't tell you what that feels like.
What that must feel like to have done your time and then get out of prison.
To leave behind that crazy life that was in there.
Right.
Even if it was a life that you know. And I know we did the movie My Baby's Daddy, and in a very funny way, Method Man played a guy who, when he came out into the real world, basically turned his whole apartment into a prison cell.
And he kept entering through the window, and it was a funny runner.
Yeah, so that he understood.
I loved it.
You understand the place that you just came from more than you understand the real world.
Correct.
And to get back in the real world, especially this real world. If you step out into the world as it exists right now, you can't understand that. The people who have lived it can't even understand how this world.
Yeah.
And it operates differently from in a prison. So,
although we are kind of imprisoned in a weird way by this pandemic.
So maybe it works. But there's probably some fear that you might not be able to handle things in the outside world. I'm trying to allow for this. I'm really bending over backwards for this guy.
Try and make explanations and understand.
Has it changed in ways that you can't comprehend? Whatever you're thinking, my guess is most people, though, are probably happy to get out of jail.
Right.
Is that am I wrong to assume that?
And if we're assuming that the penal system works to a large extent, then the majority of people who get out,
say, I don't want to go back.
I don't want to be back in there.
I don't want to have to go back in there.
It's so bad in there. I would love to look at every opportunity I have to not go back in there.
Okay, even if I'm going to commit crime when I'm out here, I got to do it in a way where I don't go back there.
Right.
That's probably the majority of people. Are we wrong to say that, Jay?
I don't know.
If anybody listening to this podcast has done time for real,
and you do have an opinion on how you
tell us if
re-enter.
We're wrong. Tell us if we're way off base. My guess is you don't want to commit a dangerous crime against a juvenile 20 minutes after you're let out of prison. Is that right, Jay?
That's pretty safe to assume.
The guy in this story did.
It defies logic to do that.
But here we go.
Okay.
A man has found himself.
You know it was a man and not a woman.
Yeah, this is not a woman.
This is not a female mistake.
Right. A man has found himself back behind bars for allegedly, he did it, carjacking a 16-year-old girl just 20 minutes after he was released from prison. 20 minutes!
You can't get someone to give you a ride. Just one person to give you a ride.
This feels like something you should have to schedule beforehand. We're letting you out.
Here's you have your phone call. Let's get you home. There's a bus that comes in an hour. You can take an Uber.
If you are that guy or girl who gives the ride to the person who's coming home from prison, think about the way you can lord that over the person.
That's right. Remember when I drove you home from prison? Now you got to take me to the airport for
Boom.
life.
For life. You going to get that ride.
Yeah.
Why didn't the guy schedule a ride, Jay?
I don't know.
Shouldn't it be on the prison as well to make sure that, teach him how to use Uber before he gets out there?
As a prison, let's just try to help at least these people just reintegrate as easily as possible.
The prison is just nope, gates are closed. Not my problem anymore. It's going to be your problem.
You're on your own.
He's going to be your problem again.
NIMBY, not in my backyard.
The incident occurred on Saturday, February 13th in Spokane, Washington. A lot of meth up in Spokane.
A lot of people chewing their cheeks.
Remember when we did the show up at Eastern Washington University and in Spokane, and we asked the people who drove, we were like, so tell us, what goes on in Spokane?
What's the most interesting thing about Spokane?
And they were like, besides all the meth, and we were like,
ooh,
oh,
opening
can.
line to our set.
We're like, oh, can.
Spokane. No can.
When the Spokane Police Department received a call at 10:28 p.m., from the Browns Addition neighborhood of the city reporting a carjacking, according to the statement of the Spokane Police Department. Also,
if you're driving near a prison, maybe don't slow down for somebody.
If you're driving near a prison at 10:30 at night, maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't drive near a prison. Certainly not at 10 p.m. at night. There have to be alternate routes. Take longer. Go a different route.
Why are we letting someone out at 10:30 at night? Can't we let them out at 10 in the morning?
Okay, now we're, again, not victim blaming, but Google map this to another place. Unless, of course, you are looking for meth.
Right.
Because Spokane. That could be Spokane's new slogan, right, Jay?
Yes.
Spokane.
Bless this meth.
There you go. Spokane. Meth, I hear you calling.
Yes.
Meth, I hear you calling. Spokane, the best laid plans of mice and meth.
Oh, come on.
Or the meth laid plans of mice and meth. Spokane, oh, mether, where art thou?
Oh, come on.
Spokane, meth we can.
All right.
There we go. Spokane, get your rocks up. I think that one could work. I really do.
Yeah.
Authorities say that the suspect, 31-year-old Marcus Goodman, who is
Old
not,
country for no country for old meth.
no country for old Marcus Goodman. Mm-hmm. Who was released from prison just 20 minutes before at 10:08 p.m. This is, Jay, what you were saying. Who releases a prisoner at 10:08 p.m.?
It feels like a recipe for disaster.
Approached the 16-year-old girl and indicated that he had a gun before demanding her car and then driving off with it. Again, whose 16-year-old daughter is saying to her parents, hey, can I have the car tonight?
And they're like, it's 10 o'clock.
They're literally like, you literally just got your license. You haven't really driven at night a lot.
She's going from somewhere else. She wants to rebel.
Where are you thinking about
going?
You
wanted to rebel. I'm not trying to blame the victim here, but
where are you thinking about going, hon? Well, I just got
park
my license.
right outside the prison and see what happens.
Thinking about driving around late tonight, cruising by the prison. Shouldn't be a problem at all. I mean, they won't be letting anyone out this late. I mean, everybody screwed up in this thing.
Yeah,
the girl screwed up. The prison screwed up. The guy who carjacked screwed up. The parents screwed up. The Spokane Police Department said they immediately began scouring the city for the vehicle shortly before 1 a.m. on Sunday, February 14th. An alert patrol sergeant was able to locate both the car and the suspect and quickly identify him as the person who robbed the victim. Yep, that was me.
Yep.
You got me.
First thing I did after I was released from prison, carjacked a 16-year-old girl.
Hey, if I'm the guy, okay, in that moment, and we talk about pivoting, who's winning in this pandemic?
Right.
The people who pivot.
Yep.
If I'm that guy, I say, you know what? That girl had no business driving at night around the prison. I was there doing her parents a favor.
Scared her straight.
No, I didn't have a gun. I told her I had a gun, but I didn't have a gun.
Right. I was hired by her parents.
I wasn't going to do any harm.
I was hired by her parents, and they're not going to come forward and tell you that.
By the way, I just came from prison. I
gave this child a teachable moment. I wasn't really a danger to her, but I scared her, and now she's never going to do that again.
I've seen the seamy underbelly of this life, and I wanted to show her what to avoid. Everyone should be thanking me at this point.
Right. I've come out of prison reformed. I'm teaching other people how to avoid being in bad situations, period.
It's like in Trading Places when he's like, y'all want me to break something else? And they're like, ha, 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 no. Y'all want me to carjack someone else? Ha, 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 no. As officers investigated Goodman's activity, they became aware Goodman had been released from jail on an unrelated felony charge at 10:08 p.m. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get to the end of this story because it's just crazy. Guy released at 10 p.m., carjacks 10:08.
None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense.
We'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. As we said before, hey, join Stereo. It's free. It's a free app. You get to do more conversations with us. It's like an after party. We can talk about if anybody has been to jail or spent a night in jail.
Tell us about your night in jail. We want to hear all about it on.
Oh my God. Let's talk about that. The worst thing you've ever done and did it put anyone in jail. I'd love to hear these stories because we don't have that experience. So please fill us in and tell us if we're wrong. We'll talk about that. Follow me and Jay, and then we do the live conversations on Monday and Wednesday, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Dumb People Town, 4 p.m. on Tuesday Pacific time. Friday, Sports Talk Friday at 3 p.m. Live Dumb People Town is happening in a couple of days. Jack Black Open Mike Eagle, Eventbrite.com. Get your tickets because there's only a couple left. And then live stand-up show. We're going to do a little cheap seats at the end of that, March 20th. So do that. All right.
Okay.
Let's jump into the story because when we left,
There was a guy who got out of prison. 20 minutes later, he carjacked a 16-year-old girl. Why was she there? We have no idea. Why was he let out of prison at 10:08 p.m.? We don't know about that.
all right, he was itching to go.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
And do his
your
thing.
All right, he's been sitting on this carjacking for years, right? What's the first thing you're going to do when you get out? What's the first meal you're going to have? Who's the first person you're going to carjack? You got to
That's
think of all
it.
those
You got to
things.
answer
right?
those questions in your head. You have a lot of time to sit around and think when you're in prison. He thought it out.
Dogs gotta hunt.
Yes.
This is now something that I feel like if you're a guard who opens the door and open the gate for everybody, you now have to ask everybody.
Are you
Or
going to
say,
carjack someone?
Please don't carjack someone. We don't want you coming back here in 20 minutes.
You're getting to walk out. You don't want to be here in less than a half an hour.
Don't carjack someone
on
within
the way
your
out.
first free hour, okay?
Right.
The investigation showed in 20 minutes, Goodman had traveled the roughly 1.5 miles from jail. Again, she's only a mile and a half from the jail. That's too close, to,
too
the
close to the
jail.
jail.
The incident located in Brown's Addition and robbed the juvenile victim, the Spokane Police Department said in their report. I seriously want to know what was next on Goodman's agenda.
Right. What was on his list of things to do? His agenda.
10:30 p.m., I just got out of jail, carjacked a juvenile. Time to do some grocery shopping.
Check it off the list.
Right? Maybe do some laundry.
Shoplifting at the grocery store.
Goodman, who was already a convicted
Steal
felon.
some clothes at the laundromat.
There you go. Go to Marshall's.
Who
Is
knows?
that open at 10:30? No.
No.
Things aren't open at 10 because you shouldn't be let out at 10:30.
Right.
Was already a convicted felon, was booked back into the Spokane County Jail for the felony of charge of robbery in the second degree. How does he walk back in that place, Jay?
Is he a hero?
Does he walk in head held high? Look what I just did.
Is he incredulous? Like, I can't believe I got busted.
Yeah. Guys, you're never going to guess what just
The
happened.
system is rigged against me,
Right?
he would say.
Right?
I can't get away with anything.
And then, how is he received in prison?
I-
Does he get a hero's welcome?
I don't know.
Or are people like, dude, you idiot? Are
Dummy.
they so mad at him? They kick his ass because they're so mad at him. You had a chance to get out and you found your way back in here.
You also should know that, like, for people who have been in prison during the pandemic and then they're coming out like in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
They went in before the pandemic. They're going out in the world right now. There's less crime happening right now in the world.
Right.
Police officers are looking for it right now.
You're not just going to blend into the numerous carjackings that are going
You're
on.
going to be the carjacking that happened that night.
Right.
It's not like 2019. This guy's out there carjacking like it's 2019, to quote a Prince song.
Yeah. So
Tonight we're going to carjack like it's 2019. That's not what it is anymore.
It's not. You got to step your game up. You got to do some research. I know there's a TV there. There's probably news. They're
You
showing
get to
news.
read. You could probably read off some websites.
Find out what's going on before you walk out into your next carjacking. That's all we're saying to everyone who's being released from jail. And if anybody has a better or has more insight, please let us know.
Please give us the upside.
That is a show. Guys, stay connected, stay protected, don't get infected.
This is not a hoax.
But guess what? We've got the jokes. Please don't carjack anyone as you get released from prison within 30 minutes. Just don't do it in general.
Yeah, don't do it in general, but also don't do it right out of prison.
Here's what we want you to do. Get your tickets for the live Dumb People Town. We'll see you this Saturday night. Can't wait.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da.